what's happening in the last 30 years. That everybody seems to go so fast. Our society became so loud, and we don't give ourselves a chance to spend some of this valuable, non-renewable time for us.
Yeah.
If we start the day giving us 10, 15 minutes, it's our time. We need to understand that if we don't nourish ourselves, sooner or later we'll be one of those statistics. That happened to me. And it was trying to do so many things, my MBA, being a coach to my kids, playing tournaments still, going to my wife, to do stuff. So all of a sudden, it's like I got this message, hey, you have to change your ways because you're killing yourself.
What's up, you beautiful beasts? I'm Katie. I'm on a mission to help humans become their favorite versions of themselves and to strive for overall health by healing their relationship to food and exercise, healing their relationship to their body, and most importantly, healing their relationship to themselves, all without ever having to step on a scale. I have had the privilege to talk to all kinds of different humans who have been through a plethora of experiences just being a human and existing. I believe that every single time someone shares their story, at least one person listening will learn from it, be inspired by it, and maybe, just maybe, even change the entire direction of their life. These are the stories of humans unveiling their beautiful beast. Keep listening. This is the Unveiling the Beast podcast. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are and why you think you are who you are?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a great question. When somebody says, "Well, who or myself?" I say, "Who am I really?" But as far as I know, my name is Georges Cordoba, and I'm a survivor of a very advanced cancer with metastasis in my brain. And two of the brain tumors were not operable. I fought the disease for 10 years and I had 10 surgeries. But the main point here was I did have two leaps of faith. One was deciding that I was going to stop traditional treatment. It was not helping me out in any way. And it actually was making me feel pretty sick. And this is almost 8 years into the cancer battle. So I decided at one point to go with a lot of prayer and meditation, decided to go the natural route. And I took the holistic health route to heal. And here I am 12 years cancer free. But I did go through 4 brain surgeries, and those two tumors that were not operable suddenly disappeared. I actually explained this in detail, how I believe it happened. Well, actually, I'm sure it happened that way. It was with people of faith, and I'm a person of faith, imposing their hands in prayer. And I just felt some amazing warm currents inside my body. I cried, and when I was going to have my 4th and last craniotomy in the MRI that they do pre-op, they put like a helmet for you so the neurosurgeon can do the right incisions in the right place. They didn't see these 2 tumors. So they wanted to wait until I had that one craniotomy and then, check the post-op MRI to see if it was just a false negative. But when they did that post MRI, it just showed that those tumors were gone, and they were gone for good. So here I am. This stuff really taught me a lot of, this experience. I don't really wish it to anybody, but for me, when I look back, this survival experience, I see as a blessing, Kathy, because it's almost like the universe, God, gave me the chance to sing the song I was born to sing, which is really helping people. And that's what I do for the last 7 years. 7 years ago, I took another leap of faith and I transitioned from being a chief technology officer and to the health and wellness space, just to give people hope, let them know that they can do it too. And this is not only for people with cancer, it's anybody with chronic disease. Here in the US right now, close to 48% of adults have one or two chronic diseases. And we call ourselves that we are, we call health, we have a healthy nation. I don't think so. I don't agree. If almost half of us are sick with one or two chronic diseases. With cancer, right now, it is expected that 1 of 2 men will have cancer in their lifetime, and 1 of 3 women will have cancer in their lifetime. So just like me, there's several holistic health coaches. I also obviously, to get better and provide more value to my clients, I became a nutritionist. I became a Reiki Master and also a hypnotherapist with Marisa Pierce in London. And obviously I speak. Everybody wants to hear this type of story, so I'm invited to small and bigger venues a lot now, online, virtual. But that's me. And I thought people need to hear this. My keynote talk is "You Can Move Your Mountains." That's for me. My steepest mountain has been a cancer, but mountains keep arising in front of me like everybody else. And a mountain can be drug addiction, alcoholism, a divorce, just a bad accident that you have to overcome. Many mountains. So, and my message really is, if you are certain, you have the faith that you can be cured or you can come out, overcome your mountain, it will happen. It's all based in this famous biblical phrase that says, if you have faith as little as a mustard seed, you will ask these mountains to move from here to there, and it'll happen. And truly, I have to say, and humbly, that faith really helped me a lot. But there was the way that it helped me, Kathy, was by giving me the discernment. I used to, like I told you, visualize. I'm a former athlete for tennis. I still play, but and that's how I came to the States. I'm actually from Caracas, Venezuela. My parents are from Greece and Spain, but they migrated to Venezuela after World War II. So I was first generation Venezuelan, and my sister and pretty much all of our friends, we grew up with people that were Italian Venezuelans, French Venezuelans, Germans, Portuguese. Everybody came and, to the Americas, plenty here, also to the States. But so that's me. And what I do today is I work with people who are dealing with cancer primarily, or the threat of it, and I help them transform their health and vitality. And there's some amazing, I just wrote today an email to I write it every Sunday, and the title, the subject was, why some people don't heal. And I explained why the 10 people that I met and I started this process with me, they're all gone, and why I'm here. In the beginning, I had this survival guilt, but as I've been going coaching and learning more and more, especially with the hypnotherapy that I studied last year, finished in September, I realized that everything, and I did that within me when I was utilizing the stuff that I learned from the subconscious mind to be a better tennis player on the court. And it's that everything, we have the secrets inside of us, in our subconscious mind. This beautiful, what they call it, the wisdom, the infinite wisdom of our subconscious mind. And the thing about this is that I did find out, not not actually, most of my clients have made the decision to say, you know what, I'll do the same thing. Now you know why? Because one of the 12 rules of the mind is that the mind goes to what is familiar. And for us, what is familiar when you get a chronic disease, let's, let's, let's say cancer, you just go to an oncologist. We just have no other option in our minds, which is really, now it's getting better. People are realizing that there's alternatives that you can do even parallel. You don't have to, you can keep attached to your fear and your ego will feel good, very good. But if you do other stuff, you have a better chance to recuperate and a better chance to feel better when you get this inductions of traditional stuff, even if it's immunotherapy. So in a way, that's me. I've been, like I said, I wrote a book. I'm writing two more. One is almost done, and the second one that I'm putting out now also helped me a lot because we are holistic beings. And by the way, all disease, Kathy, are emotional. So you're thinking, well, what is this? I thought it was just hereditary. It's really, with epigenetics, we found out that it's not hereditary. It's just you actually, what is hereditary is your lifestyle, your culture, the way you eat, and then also obviously what's happening in the last 30 years. That everybody seems to go so fast. Our society became so loud, and we don't give ourselves a chance to spend some of this valuable, non-renewable time for us.
Yeah.
If we start the day giving us 10, 15 minutes, it's our time. We need to understand that if we don't nourish ourselves, sooner or later we'll be one of those statistics. That happened to me. And he was trying to do so many things, my MBA, being a coach to my kids, playing tournaments still, going to my wife, to do stuff. So all of a sudden, it's like I got this message, hey, you have to change your ways because you're killing yourself. So, and it was emotional. In my case, people ask me, why do I continue to have recurrences? And I said, well, because the oncologist is not going to be looking for the root cause of why you're sick. But the root cause, if you really investigate and meditate and see, and you humble yourself and open up, it's usually emotional clutter that we carry from even our mother's wombs. So, and those are the things that people need to know. And I guess for me, it's been an amazing journey now because referrals, podcasts that I'm interviewed as a guest, and and the talks, those are very effective too. Even if it's two people when they do stream stuff through internet as well. So I don't have enough time. That's a blessing. I'm putting together a course, which is exactly the same, but there's if they want to have a one-on-one or let's say a deep meditation hypnotherapy session, they have to schedule it, but that's pretty much it, Kathy.
Yeah.
So,
There were two things that stood out the most to me. Well, first of all, amazing that you're here, and I'm so glad you're here still.
amen. Yeah.
What stood out to me, number one, is emotions are stored in our body. My listeners have heard me say that 10 million times. Emotions are
Yes.
stored in the body. So, and coming from an ex-emotion stuffer, that will mess with your physical health if you don't let those emotions out. And the
Yes.
other thing that stood out was you didn't use these words, but this huge hustle culture that we are in right now, where everything is go, go, go. Don't take a break. It's okay if I only get 4 hours of sleep a night.
Yes.
I'm going for this career. And then at some point, our bodies will shut us down and say, hold on, give me a break. And we can't seem to figure out like what's going on. You're like, I'm doing everything right, but you're not resting. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's something that stuck out with me.
Yes.
Hmm.
It's it really, going back to both of those points, the one with emotions is that it may be something that happened when you were 4 years old. You may see a movie or hear a song, whatever reminds you of that situation because it's there, it's in your subconscious mind, produces cortisol. All this clutter produces cortisol, and that inflames our body. Not only that, but if let's say you have some particular emotion right before you eat, and I can tell you this as a nutritionist, 25% of is what we eat. 75% is who we are when we eating. So you could be having the most, let's say, nutritious plate in front of you, but if you eat very fast, if you chew only 6 times and swallow, if you are stressed out because you were in traffic for 3 hours or whatever the reason, or because you have to eat fast because you have to go and do an errand, all the stuff sends a message between the gut and the brain to say, oh, Georges is stressed out, man. So fight or flight, let's produce cortisol. And what happens to the digestion, it gets interrupted. We send stuff to the stomach that should have been processed in our mouth with our saliva and enzymes. But if we chew 6 times, let's say eating beef, what you're sending is a bomb down there. And if you continue to do that, whether it's in 3 years, 5 years, or 15 years, you will get a call and say, hey, you know what? You got some issues. You have diabetes, you have cancer, you have heart disease. You have one of these chronic diseases that 47% of our nation has. And really, I would bet that most of it is, it's because of the emotions, because of the stress that we create in our own self, and actually our culture is instigating. It's actually motivating us to do this, to be in fast mode, and I gotta do this, I gotta pay this bill, and all of a sudden we get to 85 years old, hopefully, or more, and we look back and you say, what, if I had 20 years on me, I would do these things I always wanted to do, but I didn't seem to have time. What? And that happens to most people. My wife and I were volunteers with Kindred Hospice for a while, for about a year and a half, and the common denominator is that one. Folks are saying they regret not doing the things that they should have done, spend more time with family, friends, do the things that they should have done, and they left it up for later. You really don't wanna leave when it's our turn with regrets of not doing stuff. I heard this guy, Robin Sharma, is one of my mentors. I never met him. He's a great actor. He says, don't most people live their same life 80, 85 years, the same way 85 years. They don't change. We're okay. We're complacent to what's going on until something happens. And that's unfortunate. But it's almost, so my advocacy is bring just like you with the podcast, is just bring some sense into the audiences instead of hearing all this negative stuff in the media that it's just poisoning us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. And, on the topic of hustle culture or whatever we want to call it, um, I work with people who want to be healthy but don't want to be obsessive. So like my history is a disordered eating, everything's an obsession with numbers and counting and tracking, and I know not everybody becomes obsessed, but the people I work with are the ones who are trying to like heal their relationship to what is on their plate. Does that make sense?
Oh,
And
yes.
so I love that you said, who are you when you're eating? Because in that frame of mind, when you're obsessed with the numbers, I don't even want to say obsessed with the food, but obsessed with the numbers, like how many calories is this? How much
Yes.
protein? How much? You're not connected. Your body and your mind and your spirit are not connected when you sit down to eat. And
Absolutely.
so my job is basically to help people heal that relationship to food, heal that relationship to exercise, heal their relationship to their bodies, and most importantly, heal their relationship to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess that my question would be what would you how would you speak to that? Um, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great question, and it's very common.
Mm,
First of all, I would say that there is as many diets in the world as there is population, and they all work, apparently, quote unquote. But we really know that there's people that spend their life struggling with this, or at least years or decades. It goes along with how to eat. It's one of them. I actually, when I did my holistic mastery for transformational coaching, I received amazing copy of everything that I can share, and one of them is titled, and I'll share it with you.
okay.
After the show, we can talk about a few things, but it's called sensual eating. Here's the problem with getting obsessed with this, which actually you could get out of that. But if you understand that just by it's not so much the number of calories and what you ate. We just mentioned this 25, 80, 75% thing. If we manage to really fix first that 75%, am I eating slow? Am I enjoying the colors of the food? Am I
Mhm.
blessing the food? Because most of the world, we're in the outlier. Most of the world is hungry. So you look at this and you say, well, this is great. Thank you. Be thankful for that meal. And then go slow. Take a bite, drop your fork, chew enough times. Obviously, if you're having jello or mashed potatoes, you don't need to.
Right.
You don't need to chew 50 times. There's nothing there. But really, the average for certain foods, like let's say red meat and some other meats, you might have to go up to 30 times. And actually, you will even enjoy the taste even more. It is just really a mindset, and so it's a combination of things. Many people, and I see this with everybody new, any new client that signs up with me. I see the same pattern, saying, "Well, I went vegan, I went keto, I went extreme, and nothing." So, well, be patient. There's just not. It's not just what you eat. I was telling my son came to visit, surprise visit yesterday, and he eats everything from Sprouts or stores like that, Whole Foods. But he eats, I kid you not, maybe in 6 minutes he's done a big plate. And I say, Thomas, this is not going to work for you. You're changing your diet, but you haven't changing who you are. You have to work on that 75%. And I would be willing to bet that your audience will see some results just because of that. And then on top of that, just trying to eat a balance, not so much, yeah, obviously the percentages of protein, fats, good fats, and carbs, it's the same thing 200 years ago. We have to honor that. However, what we need to make sure we do, and here's the key for that particular question, is that we maintain a balanced pH. When I decided to go natural, I went to see a naturopath. Somebody recommended an angel. Everybody, when I made that decision, I had so many angels come and help me in the form of
Mm,
humans. This one told me this, everything. It's almost like everything was being put in place for me, and I just had to do is execute. And that's really what happened. And I kept being patient to say, well, this melanoma, these arrests that are following to getting away. But this guy said, disease cannot grow in a body that is pH balanced. Its pH is balanced. Most of us, because of emotions, because we're stressed out, because we eat fast, we're actually create acidic bodies, which inflame, we get inflamed. And that's another statistic. Without exception, all chronic disease starts on inflamed bodies. So you could be having your best meal and count all the calories you want. But if you are not working on that 75%, you are, you're not doing good for you and for yourself. And so I wrote a little ebook based on what I learned from Dr. Tansky. He passed away 2 years ago. Man, I recommended him to so many people because he did really so good on that area. So he detoxed me and showed me how to keep my pH balance. So the thing is, if you are ill, if you're one of these 46-7%, for almost 48%, adults that have a chronic disease, and you manage to balance your pH, the environment that disease strives to grow and get powerful, you start taking it away from it. So he said to me, you have it now, but work on keeping a pH balance, and that environment is going to eventually go away. That's an amazing tip. And it's not only to prevent disease, but if you know this. So I give my first few, I give the ebook for free. I'm going to share it with your audience if they are willing to, to maybe, reach out or whatever. I give it to them for free. And I give them also a table, an alkaline table that it describes what foods are acidic and what foods are alkaline. So what I teach my clients is to prepare an alkaline a pH balanced plate. Because if you're too acidic, it's like going to a pool that they pour too much chlorine. Is very dangerous. You're gonna have skin problems, and if you swallow some, it's dangerous. You can get sick. But if you don't put enough chlorine in the pool, it will turn green, and that also has some bacteria and stuff that is not good for us. So the whole point is, let's have our pH balance, and in this ebook and also in the table, it tells you what the measurements should be. So yeah.
I love that. And thank you for offering that to the listeners. That's really
Oh,
that's
yes. That's what it's all about. We
Yeah.
wanna prevent all this stuff.
Yeah. I wanted to comment on one thing that you were talking about earlier, is just slowing down while you're eating. The first thing is, a lot of people don't realize that chewing is part of digestion.
That's right.
You don't just swallow and then digestion starts. The
No.
digestion starts in your mouth. And the other thing I wanted to say, when I was able to start slowing down and, like, chewing foods properly and tasting foods, there were things I was eating I didn't even like.
Mhm.
And so, and I'm not
Yes.
talking about like that. I'm talking about like all kinds of foods. Um, and I bring that up because a lot of times, people who are in this mindset of, this is what I'm allowed to have,
Oh, yeah.
you don't even like the thing. Like, I'm going to eat this cookie, but if you don't, there have been a plenty of cookies that I've eaten in my lifetime I didn't even like, and I ate it anyway because I'm allowed to have this thing. And
Yes.
so when I started to pay attention, it was, I don't even like this, and so I'm not going to eat it. Like, why waste? It's wasteful, I think.
Yes.
Um, maybe not in this,
Absolutely.
maybe not in the sense of like, yeah, I'm going to throw this cookie away because I don't like it, but I think when we eat the thing we don't like, it's wasteful in our bodies,
Yes.
because now you put something in your body that A, probably isn't that good for you, and B, you don't even like it.
Yeah, it's fascinating, but that is, and I'll repeat it. I said it, you said it. Digestion starts in our mouth.
Yeah.
So we need to allow our saliva enzymes. They're designed to process the food before we swallow, and it goes through the esophagus to the stomach. If we don't do that, imagine this might be new for you, and you are 35 years old, and you haven't done it. You have been putting so much stress in your in your being, not only your physical body, but in this case, yeah, in your digestion. And the stomach that doesn't know what to do with it, so it decides to store it in fat. Women, it's more around, let's say, the butt and the legs, and men is right in front of their gut. You might even see people that are very thin, but they have this hard gut in front of. That's because they probably eat too fast. So by doing that, you're already probably resolving over 50% of this issue of calorie counting, which doesn't get you anywhere. What the idea is to eat a balanced pH, and obviously, if you're not somebody that is active, goes out for walks, we're designed to move. We're not designed to be sitting on a couch all day, or so. That's something that I work with my clients that they're very, oh no, I don't have time for this. I don't, or I don't go to the gym because if it's, women, oh, I have to get ready afterwards. And I said, you don't have to go to a gym. You need to just make sure that you are active, that you can move around. And then the other thing, Kathy, that I found, and it just works awesome, is to let people know that they're not just a body. They have emotions. That's the emotional body, the mental body, and the spiritual side, which also many people don't have time to slow down, meditate, really embrace a beautiful tree or a stream somewhere, or just decide to go to a park for a little bit, take their shoes off and ground themselves with Mother Earth. And that doesn't take too much time. And that time that we waste, because in a way it's wasted on other things and thinking that we're doing right because we're doing this for our boss, or we have all this errand stuff. Time keeps going, and then all of a sudden you say, what is it all gone? Look at now, we're almost in October. This is crazy. How fast this year went.
I was just
And
having
it
that
doesn't come back.
conversation. I was having that conversation with my husband this morning. I'm like, I feel like I feel like it was just January, and boom, it's the end of September.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So, but continue.
yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. So,
No, I just wanted to say that a good way, if you or your audience are looking to be one of these people that do heal, because what I wrote today is why some people don't heal and some do. Okay, but if you feel that you're the ones that right now with this counting and stuff, you feel you don't heal, it's most of it is what we just talked. But find yourself a person that can hold you accountable and work on your integral self. Your physical side. Imagine a four-legged table. One of the legs is your physical body, the other leg is your emotional self, then your mental self, and then your spiritual self. If one of those is missing, or two of them, the table doesn't stand. So it's really we'll never become 100% balanced. No one. The Chinese say that the only time that we're completely balanced is when we're born and the moment that we're leaving this planet. Those are the only two times that we're 100% holistically balanced. But we can actually aim for clearing the clutter in those areas. And I tell people, I cannot tell you that you will heal, but I'll give you a blunt statement that you will. If you do the stuff, which is simple, that you need to do, because it's all about action, not just theory. We do a session and I put them to work. If they do the work, I guarantee that they will have a transformation of their health and vitality. And also that helps a lot finding your purpose, because you realize that it's you, it's all you. Everything, and you are where you are right now because of you. I'm where I am because of me. I could be somewhere else. I don't worry about that, because I always say I am enough. so I don't have to be dealing with this race to get something that I don't know what it is, but everybody's in the
Yeah.
same. No. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful too, is it helps you find your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The whole reason I do my work is because I went through it myself. And so I wouldn't take it back ever, you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
So because now I can help people, I can tell them what I did to, and I'm still healing. I'm never going to be fully healed. I was a
Same with me.
yo-yo dieter obsessed with phone numbers with
Yeah.
numbers for 27 years, and I just started healing like 5 years ago. And so it's gonna take time, but I'm in a place right now where I can be like, hey, this is what I've been doing. You can have that too.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
it's gonna be a completely different journey because they're they're not me, we
Yeah.
have different DNA, we've gone through different things, but you can have your version of healing. And so
Yes.
I love that you said that it helps you find your
Yeah.
purpose. That's exactly what it did for me.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I see the person struggling, and obviously I understand because I was shocked with my diagnosis as well with 5 young kids. We have 5 children. Well, they're adults now, but at the time they were from 7 years old to 14, and twins in the middle that were 9 years old. So so it can happen to anyone, and the thing is understanding several things in each legs of this table that are really given to us. We have these gifts inside. By
Hmm.
the way, healing happens from the inside out, not from what, yeah, in the country of many people thinking, we'll throw the kitchen sink on this person and see what happens there. It's on the contrary. It's up to us. We have this intuition that we gave the power little by little through our life to others, including for those people that get sick, or you think, man, I don't know, I need to go to a psychologist because I'm becoming obsessed with this stuff. Again, it's in your subconscious mind. If this psychologist maybe do deep meditation with you, instead of just asking too many questions, just go right to the source. And the source is 100% of the time within your subconscious mind. It's recorded in there. We need to reframe that, get rid of that, and plant beliefs that are good for you. And
Hmm.
that's really, this is not from tomorrow to Friday. You have to take some time, but do the work and be patient. And one day you realize, oh, wow, what got me here, I had the power to undo and go back to where I was before. And it happens to all of us
Mm.
if we really take the action. Some people say, I heard, obviously, as somebody of faith, there's one warning that one of the apostles says, is show me your faith with your actions. Faith without action is dead. You can change that to intention. Intention without action becomes an illusion. This is what happened to everyone this past January. Everybody, their New Year's resolution, great, right? But by March, nobody had a plan or kept going with the action. So it ended up like the year before, and probably what will happen this January. You have to take action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just going to add my own piece to that. Don't try to do everything at once, because that's why so many people quit. It's too
Yes.
much.
Yes. It's too
And
much.
they're like, it's too hard. I can't do this. Well, it's because you're trying to change what you're eating, change your movement patterns, change your sleep. You're trying to do all the things.
Hmm.
It's overwhelming.
Yes, it's
So,
overwhelming.
yeah.
And you guys, this is really good. We could go 3 hours. When you talk about the sleeping,
Mm.
how do you pronounce your name? Katie?
Katie. Hmm.
Katie. When we talk about this, and you mentioned sleeping a couple times, people also, I teach people that obviously the sun has a cycle of 366, 65 days, depending on the year. The moon is 28. Their cycle is 28. days, and for us humans, our cycle is 24 hours. So in those 24 hours, certain things have to happen. We're designed to rest and digest and detox. And that's what happens when we're sleeping. Many people, this is one guarantee that you're gonna get sick. They eat very little during the day, they don't have time, and then they get home and they have a horse an hour before they go to sleep. So you go to sleep, you're not gonna sleep well, and your body, your cycle, the 24-hour cycle, is designed that we sleep 6 to 8 hours to restore our bodies and detox our bodies. And but how can we do this? This energy cannot be used now for that. It has to be used for a digestion of this amazing meal that will take 3 hours of maybe the poor sleep just digesting. So there are very few things. There's many few things with common sense stuff but it takes practice. Oh, I forgot. It takes about 21 days doing the same thing to start making it a habit. So if you think about this, and I do have some documents on what tips for better sleep, natural, no pills. And I mean, and it really, people go, oh my gosh, this really worked. One of them that is key is what I just told you. If you're gonna eat something heavier at night, do it 2 or 3 hours before you go to sleep. Although what I say, I use McLean's, this famous guy in nutrition. He says breakfast is king, lunch is queen, and dinner is poor man's meal. It's the smallest meal and the lightest meal should be the one at night, not the other way around. Oh, I don't have time I'll just have 2 coffees and have a Diet Coke and I'll be okay to lunch. No, don't do that. You are putting yourself in position to be one of those 48% people with a chronic disease. So sleeping is so important. Try not to have a TV in your room. If you can, take a warm shower that really relaxes you. And just when you know that it's almost time to go to bed, just do a ritual, just like before, and you'll learn with some of the stuff that I'll send to you guys. You're gonna learn how to do a sensual meal, and it has nothing to do with sex. It's really putting the other sense into play, the smells, your taste, the vision. Wow, what a beautiful, maybe carrot. Look at the color of this carrot. Look at this, and then you're eating, and then you're dropping, you're chewing, and just by doing that, you are going to stop counting calories, and you are going to find, without any diets, you're going to find that you're going to lose some weight because you're really honoring your digestion. Let that work be done by the digestion. And so, yeah, I love what you do, because many people, I have to say this one, 66% of the U.S. adults are close to being obese. They're overweight, way overweight. And 33% of those are obese. If the trend continues, by 2030, half the United States adults will be obese. And being obese brings so many possibilities for disease. So we have to undo all this stuff. And it's doable.
Yeah. And it's doable in a way that's sustainable rather than I was going to say obsessional, but that's not a word. Well, I do have one more question for you, and I ask at the end of every episode, and that is, if you had one piece of advice that you could give to the world, what would it be?
Well, it'll be a 2-part answer. First of all, to realize that our time is not renewable and time flies. It really flies. That's one. You have talents. Use them, even if it's just to play. Okay, you gotta give time to yourself. And then the treasures that you may create, share them. Be open to share, to give, because you're gonna receive 100-fold. But the last one, and the second part of this question is, no one will believe in you until you believe in you.
Beautifully said. Beautiful beasts, Georges Cordoba signing off. Until next time. Balaka.